there's something really, really rewarding about knowing that you don't have anyone just busting you about, pushing you about, making you feel nervous about your job or kind of threatening you and all this sort of BS you get when you work with somebody else. You should watch this video completely if you are thinking about quitting your job to go and run your business full time. This week makes it exactly 2 years since I quit my job to head off into the sun and run my own business full time. Has it been worth it? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to break it down in this video. I'm going to share with you guys, I'm going to be totally upfront, no plans, what the challenges have been. I'm going to start with my biggest challenges of actually running my own business full time. And then I'm going to dive into the good times, what's been absolutely amazing. And then I want you to be the judge, actually. In fact, I'll tell you at the end. So make sure you hang about. Give you a summary of what my take has been over these last 2 years of running my own business full time. For some background, I used to be in finance, work in finance as a chief financial officer, worked in the industry for about 14 years, quit my job when the pandemic hit. Boy, left, went and started running the Humble Penny full time. And it's been quite a journey, to be super frank. Okay. So if you're loving the vibes from this video, you love this particular topic and you can relate to it, hit the like button. I'd really appreciate that. And it gives me a good signal of the sort of videos I might want to make in the future. Okay. This topic is relevant even if you haven't got a business yet. Okay. Or if you're thinking to yourself, you want to start a side hustle, or if you've got a side hustle already and you're growing it, you're thinking one day I've got aspirations to actually run it full time. That's why I thought this video will be super relevant to you guys. Okay. Right. Let me start with the challenges, right? Because we can keep the good stuff for last. Let me be super upfront about the challenges. It's important to be honest about the challenges of running your own business. And for me, number one challenge that hit me as soon as I started running my own business full time was anxiety and stress. Now, this is something that you don't hear a lot of people talk about, particularly as we just have this culture of wanting to make things look like they're working out. Yay, life is good, everything's working out. When in actual fact, I got hit with anxiety probably in the first 1 week of actually quitting my job to run my own business. I was like, oh my God. Oh, what am I doing? I'm actually doing it. But the anxiety, because I'm so used to getting that salary and I used to earn well, not here to show off, but earn a really good income, a really good 6-figure income, guaranteed bonus every year, all the perks, tick, 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 had all those things. Very nice. Plus the holidays. You don't realize how much of an advantage you've got when you've got formal holidays that somebody else is paying for as an employee. But we'll get to that. It's quite hard to let go of a really well-paying job. Will this thing work out? Will it take off? What if I'm a failure? What if blah, blah, blah? What if people laugh at me? That's a real one. In fact, can you relate to that? If you can relate to that, let me know in the comments. All those things. And, the good news for me was that I had good support from my wife and that really helped me. But I wanted to make that anxiety and stress real, because for me, I just dived into my business. Yeah, man, I'm going to make this thing a success. And you put the hours in. Before you know it, you're like piling on so much stress. The second challenge was finding business and creating value. Because it's actually not easy to create business. Well, it's not easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It's actually not easy to go out there and create business. The economy going up and down with many things happening, pandemics, companies having to let staff go. So finding new opportunities has not been easy, So for me, I've had to really learn to build relationships. Honestly, this is the one thing that has really helped me and my wife, because I've always got to mention this business is run with my wife. It's been about building those relationships and nurturing those relationships. But it has remained hard actually finding business. Every year, I've had to really learn, kind of shift from that employee mindset of, the business is there and I've got my salary, I've got it, so cushioned, I've got it. I've had to learn that if I don't find the business, there's no money, as it were, from a business perspective. Really good challenge and continues to be a challenge because every year, there's no money waiting about. You have to create value, and the way you create value is by solving problems for people, adding value to their own lives, and that therefore creates business and so on. So it's been an interesting learning and a particularly interesting challenge for me. The third challenge is the challenge of getting help. You know, when you start your own business, you want to do everything. You're like, yeah, man, you're wearing your like bookkeeping, you are sales manager, you're marketing manager, you're operations manager, you're also like a legal and compliance guy, all at the same time. And so for me, one of the biggest challenges, although I had background in working in finance and being part of teams and managing a team and so on, actually transferring that into your own business and actually then restructuring everything was quite a challenge for me, you know, and the biggest challenge was actually getting the help. Actually saying to myself, oh, this is now when we need the help. This is what the organization needs to look like in its piece. Someone who's, you know, the visionaries, and then they've got maybe an operations manager or an online business manager, and they've got a, you know, bookkeeper. Actually creating that structure took a while, and I found that to be a pretty big challenge, actually taking that leap to get help, to ask that first person to join the team on a freelance basis, in our case, for example, and actually help us was the biggest challenge. But it was so liberating when I went on Upwork or when I asked people, you know, do you know anyone who, you know, who has these particular skills, and getting that referral, getting that person on board and seeing that they are much better than me at doing that particular aspect of the job has been super, super liberating, and something that I'd highly recommend. If you're someone who's going down this path, you should think about getting help. All right, so the next challenge, and it's not slightly controversial, but it's actually running a business with my wife. Now, it's interesting because I love running a business with my wife, but it's also a weird one because, like, you know, you can't like tell your wife what to do. Like, you know, it's like, she's not my employee, like she's my wife, you know, and vice versa. So it's been very interesting learning to manage being in a marriage and also in business partnership together. We're in the same space every day. We've got a study where we work together, 2 desks, figure out how best to relate to each other. How do we operate together as a unit from a business perspective? What are our jobs, as it were? Like, who's doing what and why? You know, who has responsibility for this and who has responsibility for that? How do we report into each other to make sure that we're being kept accountable? There are people out there that this particular point can relate to, because it's one that I've had to kind of figure out and still figuring out. But so far, it has been an interesting journey. Next challenge is taking time out to go on holidays. This is such an interesting one because when I used to have a job, the holiday was just like, you booked it. It was like you had the right. This is my holiday, man. Give me my holiday. Don't you dare talk about, don't you dare I've got my holiday. Don't ever email me whilst I'm on holiday. No one send me an email. Put my out of office on. That was, but when you run your own business, it's not that easy. It honestly isn't. In fact, today, right now, since I finished this, I'm changing. We're actually heading to the airport in about an hour, going on holiday for the first time in a while, you know, and it's taken so much planning to be able to take 7 nights away. So much planning with our children and, you know, our business. What do we have to do? Like, this video I'm making now is actually part of that planning. I had to make this video before going on holiday to get it off to my video editor and so on and so on. It's a lot harder when you run your own business to actually take a holiday. In fact, so a lot of people who run their businesses don't take holidays. They just work. And even when they take a holiday, they work during the holiday, which is challenging. I'm trying to, you know, not do that by actually doing the work and almost envying my days when I worked in a job, because that holiday was just set in stone. That was it. I had it, I took it, I had the right, no one would disturb me, and I just escape. So I'm now starting to try and recreate that aspect, but in my own life as a business owner. And it's very important to make that clear to you that you will face this challenge. In fact, I'd love to know, if you run your own business right now, if this is something you face and can relate to. Jump in the comments and let me know. And the final challenge I'm going to share today is creating boundaries between the business and your personal life. I've particularly struggled with this one as someone who runs an online business, because I can run this business from anywhere. In fact, I can run this business from my phone, okay? But it then presents a challenge, because it means that I struggle then to switch off from the business. I'm going about, I'm just walking about, and I suddenly see something happening, or I had an idea. I might start there and make a video and just suddenly create stuff. But then that means I'm in work mode rather than just being in chill mode. And I love what I do. I'm working, working away. But then my kids have come back from school and suddenly I have to now switch from work mode to family mode or time with my wife mode and that sort of stuff. And it's quite challenging, but when I had my job, it was just literally, it wasn't that straightforward. Technically I could have left at 5:30 and sometimes I did leave at 5:30 to go home and stuff and commute and go home. But there were times when work exceeded the hours. You had to work late and stuff like that, which meant it kind of, spilled into your personal life as well. But my point is I felt it so much more with running my own business. I felt like I've struggled so much more with creating those boundaries and it remains a work in progress. All right, so now that I've talked about the challenges, I've kept the best part for last. You've got to wait for the good times. We need the good times, man. Because otherwise, why are we running a business? You need the good times. So the first advantage of running my own business is that it's very rewarding to be your own boss. So even with all those challenges, right, there's something really, really rewarding about knowing that you don't have anyone just bossing you about and pushing you about and making you feel nervous about your job or kind of threatening you and all this sort of BS you get when you work with somebody else. And it's very rewarding to just know that, I've been able to do this, man. I've actually created this business and I'm enjoying running this business. The second really good thing, big advantage, is the removal of the income cap. I earn a really good income in my job, but with running our own business, we have no income cap, particularly as we run a business online, being completely transparent, as our business grows or as our audiences grow across different platforms, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, our email list, our website, all these various platforms collectively. As these things grow, so does our business grow because we have the opportunity to help so much more people and create more value for more people, which means that our income grows and there's no cap. We can have so much more possibility as a result. So that has been a huge advantage for me because, one thing, I don't know if it's just my nature, but I just like not knowing that there are any restrictions. I just like knowing that I can create any possibility I wanted by employing my skills, by hiring the right team members, by being creative, that sort of stuff. I can actually create more income as a result of that. So having no cap has been a big advantage for me from running my own business. Next advantage is that of income diversification. And this is one of the most important points. When I had a job, I just earned my income. Now, I had a salary and I had a bonus. So that's good. It all came from that one employer. Yeah. Now, I had side hustles and things like that, which were good, one of which was this actual business, and I ran this as a side hustle before we then took the leap, my wife and I, to start running this business full-time. But one big advantage of running our business is that it has created different income streams. The income streams are also diversified in different ways. So for example, the income streams, in fact, I made a very detailed video about this, being super, super transparent. I'll link to it below and above. Various income streams, obviously you guys would know. You see ads here on our channel, and thank you for watching through the ads because that helps us a lot. You click on our links, that gives us income. If we maybe suggest a product and tell you, hey, this is a referral link, stuff like that, that gives us certain bits of income. They're all little bits here and there, but it adds up, because they're coming from so many different people. And I think at the last count, I can't remember, well, I think we're at something like around 11 or 12 different income streams, which is great compared to when I had my job where I was just earning my salary and stuff like that. So having that diversification in income stream is great, but also having a diversification from the income coming from thousands and thousands and thousands of people is great because then you're not having overexposure to one person necessarily, which is one massive advantage of running an online business, which, by the way, I should mention, if you're thinking about starting a business, I would always highly recommend running an online business any day over running an offline business. In fact, the pandemic has proven that to us. The demand is online, the trend is online, and, that's my personal opinion, but, it's one that I'd highly suggest you considered very strongly. Next advantage is tax efficiency. Now, when you run your own business, wow, there's so much possibility from a kind of tax perspective legally. When you're an employee in a job, that's it. Honestly, you feel like you're being ripped off. The more you earn, the more you pay out, and that tax is real. In fact, when I had my job, my annual tax bill from my job was more than most people earn as an income, in the UK in terms of tax. Like, you think to yourself, wow, like, oh my God, this is how much tax I'm paying. This is mad. But it's just what it is. The people who pay the most tax are the employees. That's just how it works. But the people in business have the opportunity. Again, it's all legal. It's a bit weird, but it's the truth. They have the opportunity not to pay the most tax, Corporation tax is a lot lower at 19%, for example. And then, of course, you can earn as an income, you earn as a director via salaries and dividends. Dividends are a lot, lower from a tax perspective, and so on. Then, of course, you've got business expenses, allowable, provided wholly and exclusively for business purposes. Again, you can deduct those before you then get taxed. You can see there's so many opportunities to operate so much more tax efficiently within your own business. And so that's been a massive, big tick, because I can afford to actually earn less within my business, but my paycheck would actually be a lot more compared to when I had a job which looked like I was earning so much, but in actual fact, when I've done all the taxes, all the NI, all these things, paid out all these things, when I see the bottom line, I'm like, whoo, boy, I just got robbed. Before this very video right now, we made a video on the 10 advantages of running your business as a limited company. I'll link to that video below and above for you to head over and check it out. Next one is being completely in control of my own time. This one feels good. Now, I've had challenges like managing, having boundaries and all that stuff I mentioned. It's very important, but there's nothing better. There's nothing, this is such a good perk of running a business, of being completely in control. Just being able to kind of decide, I'm going to work on this day, I'm going to wake up at this time, I'm going to work from this location, I'm going to work from this country even. Even right now, as I mentioned before, we're about to travel, I have the option, although I'm not going to do it. I'm creating that boundary, I'm not working. And the final bit that I want to mention today is I've had a far more impact and far more opportunities for legacy from running my own business compared to if I had just stayed in my own job. I mean, look at what we do here at Humble Penny. This is a labor of love. The amount of time, effort, research, collabs, and the amount of the consistency we put into our content, there's so much that goes in. We want you guys to experience a radical transformation in your lives financially. We want to see you experience a generational shift in your financial outcomes. So for me and my wife, this is purpose-led. What we do here is about impact. It's about creating that legacy for people we will never ever meet. Most people who watch this channel. It's weird now going out onto the local transport and seeing people stop you. I went for breakfast yesterday in the most unlikely place, and literally people still recognize us, even from random places. And that's interesting because I kind of never really expected that to happen, because I didn't really expect this channel and the brand to be growing the way it's growing, which has been fantastic thanks to you guys. But for us, it's been about this impact and legacy, and that's a beautiful thing. And on a really personal note, because the work we do, running our own business, is actually pretty hard. Make no mistake, it's tough. It's tough. Coming up with, we've made about 280 videos on this channel so far. Think about what it takes to come up with every single video idea, to make sure that every single video idea adds value, and to make sure you do it consistently twice a week. Although sometimes we've missed once, I think, a couple of times in a couple of weeks. But it's been relentless, but it's been really, really good. So for us, the huge advantage is we're having fun, we're having impact, and we're changing lives through what we're doing. And that has been such a game changer compared to when I just operated in my job, sat in my cubicle, and basically made the rich richer by, working in asset management or anything. Nothing wrong with that, by the way, which I actually loved. I had a lot to learn in that space, but I feel like I'm helping so many more people who really need the help by running this business and operating it as the Humble Penny and doing it, having fun with you guys and doing it with my incredible wife, Mary. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've tried to be as candid as I can by sharing the realities as well as the good things about running my own business. If you are thinking about quitting your job and going to run your own business full-time, it can absolutely work out for you. This has been the best thing I've done. but I've experienced a lot of challenges and continue to experience them as I navigate towards being excellent at running a business. But I wanted to leave you guys by making this point to mention that you don't have to quit your job to go and run your business full time. You don't have to do that. It's not for everybody necessarily. You can do both, provided your employer is happy for you to kind of do your job as well as running a side hustle alongside. In fact, for some people, they might actually make more money doing a bit of both that way, depending on what they do, What aspect of this video today really resonated with you? Jump in the comments and let me know. I'm doing my best to be super candid and share as authentically as I can. Do you have ambitions of quitting your job and running your own business? And what are your motivations for wanting to do that? I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Finally, please share this video with one other person at least, or share it in a WhatsApp group, share it with family members, share it wherever you want, but get this video out to other people so that they can also learn about the realities of quitting your job and starting your own business and that sort of thing. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. As always, in all things, be thankful and seek joy. Take care, people, and bye for now.